Hey, Steve Mignani here at Burniston Auto Wrecking, doing the junkyard crawl in Burniston, Massachusetts with this 1984 Ford F250 pickup truck. Now this is special because this is the second year for Ford's factory optional diesel V8. Now the diesel V8 wasn't available in half-tonners, strictly 3/4 and 1-tonners. And we got to remember that Chevrolet and GMC were the first out with a diesel V8 in pickup trucks in 1978. But that was the 5.7-liter 350 Oldsmobile gas engine based diesel V8, which really wasn't heavy duty. By contrast, Ford went all the way with their V8. Now again, this launched in 1983, and this is called the International I.D.I.V8, the indirect injection. Now this engine launched with 420 cubic inches from 1983 through 87, and then grew to 444 cubic inches in 1986 through 1994. And this is the beginnings of Ford's Power Stroke diesel dynasty. Now, Ford did not design this engine on its own. In fact, International Harvester worked with Ford on this design, and the idea was that International would make these engines. Ford vowed to buy a lot of them, which they did. Now again, the I.D.I. indirect injection engine, the fuel injectors launch right in here. Underneath this are pre-chambers that then send the fuel into the combustion chambers. These have about 22-to-1 compression. So as a result, the starter motor on these things has to be a monster, and it's a 24-volt system. There are two batteries, one on this side of the engine bay and one on that side over there. So two batteries, and of course that's not that uncommon. Cummins diesels and a lot of diesel trucks have two batteries. Again, it's all about cranking that huge 22-to-1 compression engine over. And speaking of guts inside of that, the 420 I.D.I. is an under-square engine, meaning that it has a smaller bore than it has stroke. 4-inch bore, 4.18-inch stroke. And generally speaking, you want to have a bigger bore than stroke, you know, the under-square or the over-square design. But here, the diesels, these things redline at 3,200 RPM, so high RPM operation isn't really a big deal. So again, this is kind of an unusual thing. It's an over-square V8 design. But something kind of cool is the aluminum intake manifold right there. You usually think of aluminum intakes on 446 packs and, you know, Boss 429s, that kind of stuff. But here we have it here. You got to remember too that, you know, every ounce removed from the weight of the truck is another ounce you can use to pull cargo or a trailer. So the aluminum intake made sense and probably saved a few bucks. Who knows? But of course, power brakes, standard equipment on the F250. Again, this is a 3/4 tonner. The size of this radiator too, this is massive. This is about, got to be 20% larger than a 460 V8 radiator. And keep in mind too, the whole point of the diesel V8 engine was that it costs a little more, but the idea was that you'd save in gasoline or fuel expenses. These things had about 6% more torque than a 400 cubic inch gas V8. In fact, this engine right here made 170 horsepower and 315 foot-pounds of torque. Remember that, 170 horsepower. Keep in mind, going back to the GM 1978 up 5.7 diesel, the Oldsmobile-based thing, which was used in cars and half-ton pickup trucks and even some 3/4 tonners, those things only made 125 horsepower. So these things were almost 50 horsepower, or actually over 50 horsepower stronger than the GM 5.7. Of course, GM would pick up with the Duramax engines and pretty much, you know, do their own thing. But again, let's look around inside of this puppy. This is a base F250, nothing frilly here, no lariat, nothing like that, but you gotta love that diesel emblem right there, seen for the very second year, right here, 83, 84, second year right there. And again, really begins Ford's diesel pickup truck dynasty. Now, no superchargers, no turbochargers, these are naturally aspirated. So again, you know, not particularly potent, but good torque. Now let's open the door here and have a look at the trim tag, and if we look around the back, we'll see this one here is this one's a long bed. It's got the full floating Dana 70 rear axle, and we can learn what ratio this thing has by looking at the door sticker. I'm going to go inside and let's do that. But yeah, if we come in here, we'll see right here. Here's the door sticker right there. It says 73. Now you can get a 307, a 354, or a 410 axle. The 73 tells us this one has the 354 Dana 70 rear axle. Now, diesel specific stuff in this truck are things like this marking on the dash, again, 84, second year that you'd see something like this inside of your Ford F-Series truck. Diesel fuel only. Pretty cool. And again, diesel fuel only right there. And 85 mile an hour speedometer, of course, you know, from 1979 onward, the federal government said, hey, no more of this 120 mile an hour speedometer stuff. But down here we have glow plug, water in fuel, and these are warnings here, seen only on diesel models right there. And being a basic model, this one has rubber floor mats, no carpeting here. But one area where the original buyer of this truck didn't scrimp was on the stereo. This here is the AM/FM with cassette tape. Yes, that's right. We used to listen to cassette tapes. And one of the problems with cassettes is if you want to hear one side or the other, you got to take it out and flip it, unless you have auto reverse, that thing right there. What that means is you push this button here on this side, like that, and if you're echoing a Bunnymen tape, it needs to be reversed, or your Doors, or whatever you're listening to, LL Cool J, whatever, you just hit that puppy right there, and you're listening to side B, or side A, or side B, or side A. Now, there is one shortcut in this truck, no air conditioning. You can see right down here, it just says cool, heat, defrost, doesn't say max AC, none of that stuff. And a function of the no AC on this truck is this right here, the block off for what would have been the AC vent in the center of the dash. So, you know, kind of a little weird thing. But again, this is the second year for diesel, and this is something right here in the glove compartment. This is the 1985 F-Series Econoline and Club Wagon and pickup truck diesel supplement for the 6.9 420 cubic inch I.D.I. diesel engine. So right here, this is do's and don'ts for your new Ford diesel pickup truck right here. Diesel engine information fuel system, fast start glow plug system, engine oil cooling, governor. The engine governor is located in the injection pump. The governor controls fuel input to limit maximum engine speed. It will not, however, prevent engine overspeeding resulting from downspeeding or downshifting at high vehicle speeds or by descending steep hills. So, you know, all this stuff right here. Second year for Ford pickup truck drivers to know and understand diesel power. And of course, now diesel powered Ford trucks are right up there with 1,000 foot-pounds and more. This one here, you know, 370 foot-pounds, whatever it was certainly a humble beginning. But that's the story of the second year for Ford's first optional V8 diesel power plant and F-Series pickup truck right here at Burnston Auto Wrecking. Now, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the Steve Maggs YouTube channel. There's lots more to come.